First things first, please do note this. A tender offer is given so that the public, the investing public, have a chance also to liquidate and sell their positions. Manny Pangilinan and their entire team have their set of reasons also why they're doing that as well. It may not be the most ideal scenario for those that bought also when the market was relatively bullish and higher, thinking that when everything recovers, the price will also recover. But there are certain things like this also that happens that way before a recovery will happen. When a company delists, you won't have the option to be able to wait for it to recover. Hey guys, so as you all know, MPI would be delisted soon as it would be going private. There will be a private institution that would be buying out the shares in the market, and they would no longer be traded in the Philippine Stock Exchange. And part of the rules is that they would need to have a tender offer so that the investing public would also have a chance to be able to sell their shares. In this video, let's talk about the tender offer. Is it something that you should take? Is it something that's a good deal? And let's talk about the structures and how it could be and what are your other options should you not want to take it. First things first, this is very interesting because from a fundamental standpoint and also a defensive stock standpoint, MPI is one of the more defensive stocks in the Philippines. It owns hospitals, toll roads, it has exposure to water and electricity, part and parcel of things that we all need to be able to function here in the Philippines. And that's why it has been a good complement also if you want to balance out your portfolio, because it's way different from Jollibee, it's way different from the banks, it's way different from Ayala Land, and so much more. Here's where it becomes a bit interesting as well. Over the past years, the stock price really hasn't gone anywhere. It hasn't really moved as much. I believe it went as high as 6 or 7 a few years back. But after that, it has corrected and it hasn't even challenged those price points. Now, that being said, should the delisting happen and MPI become a private company, that actually means also that those who bought when it was relatively higher, somewhere around 6 or somewhere around 7, will have to make a decision because the price is nowhere near those price ranges on where it was a few years ago. So those are a couple of things that you need to consider if you are an investor and you bought way back when it was relatively higher. Do remember that the index hit 8,900 in 2018, and even the index also hasn't gone back to that particular level as well. That being said, it's a different story for those who bought the dip. It's a different story for those who entered into the market. I know there are a lot of retailers who entered the market in 2020, and they're at a different position also because prices were lower at that time as compared to where it was a few years longer than that as well. First things first, please do note this. A tender offer is given so that the public, the investing public, have a chance also to liquidate and sell their positions to sell. And the tender offer price is at 4.63 pesos per share. And they have their set of calculations that it's at the premium based on where it is right now. It's also at the premium based on how the stock price was trading over the past few months. And rightly so, that was the computation on how it was derived from. Please also note this, that the purchase of the entire company or the purchase of the shares to make it private is a very, very large investment for the company that's acquiring. And at the end of the day also, their goal is to buy it at the lowest amount possible or the cheapest amount possible, which they think MPI will also agree upon. And that's why we are at 4.63 right now. I don't have details yet on when the delisting date is. I don't have details yet also when the tender offer date is, but I'll update you once it's available also so you can make the right decisions. Before we continue with the video, I'd like to invite everyone to Investment Conference 2023. This is an event that we co-founded about 10 years ago with the goal to educate people about investing and different investments that are out there. We have a lot of speakers from Randall Johnson, Rex Mendoza, David Lichu, Alvin Ang. But what's interesting for this year also, since I've been pushing and I've been a very, very big advocate of Web3 cryptocurrencies and NFTs, we're adding crypto into the mix. If you want to venture into crypto and NFTs, check out the link down below. It's happening May 27, 2023 at Samsung Hall. We're gonna have 1,000 people, 1,000 investors joining us. So I hope to see you there. See the links below, and back to the video. So basically, you have 3 options. Number 1 is this. If you bought it at a very, very low price, also, by the time I'm recording this, trading for MPI was halted. but the last price was, I think, somewhere around 4.2 pesos per share, somewhere around that area. So the tender offer is around 4.63, so there's still a delta there from 4.2 to 4.63. What does that mean? You can already readily sell it once trading resumes. If you don't want to wait for the tender offer, you just really want to get out of the stock already, and because you think you're already at a gain, you could sell at any point in the market. Or if you also think that because of this entire debacle, there might be some price movement, that it may somehow also go near to 4.63, or because of a lot of buying, it may even go back, it may even go higher. I don't know if it actually will go higher than 4.63, but if you think that you could get a good deal just by selling it in the market, then you may do so already. As long as it's still traded in the PSE, as long as it's not yet delisted, you can sell it at any point you want and then get the liquidity already and buy whatever stock that you want as well. That's one option, especially if you bought when it dipped below 3. It was somewhere around 2. You can sell anywhere and still get a very, very good return on what you invested at that particular point in time. So that's one option. You can sell at this time and still pocket a return. You could sell also this time. The closer it is to 4.63, the better it will be also for you. Because at the end of the day, if you accept the tender offer, the highest that you will ever get is 4.63. If you could get something close to that already at this point in time, you already get the cash and it's already yours right away. Again, it becomes tricky if you bought higher than 4.63 because you have to make a judgment call on how you're going to accept the loss as well. Another thing that you could do, and I've seen a lot of people when they see tender offers like this, is they want to actually trade. If it's 4.2, the tender offers 4.63, they buy now because they know if they accept the tender offer, they will get 4.63. They have a bit of upside as well. That's one option for those who don't own shares and want to enter that route also and earn from the difference between 4.23 to 4.63. That could be a route that could be explored, okay? But please do notice that it has to be dependent on you and what fits your own goals and the risks that you're willing to take as well. Your second option is this: just take the tender offer. Accept it at 4.63. Wait up until your broker sends you the email and you have to click the link and fill up certain forms. Upon accepting the tender offer, you just have to wait also after a period of time, and then corresponding to the amount of shares you have times 4.63, that's the amount of money that they will send to your account as well. So it's quite straightforward. If you want to peg it already that you're gonna get 4.63 and not anymore trade it in the open market, you may accept the tender offer as well. And lastly, this is a route that I have not tried ever. You can opt not to sell your shares. You can opt not to go with a tender offer, but you still remain a shareholder of MPI. So this is the misconception that people think that when it's delisted in the stock market, there's something wrong with the company, it's not good anymore, it's gonna vanish. It's not like that. It just means that the shares of the stock won't be anymore traded in the PSE, meaning it's not anymore as liquid. So you can still be a shareholder of MPI. You can still be entitled to whatever dividends they get. If the company even gets bigger, you become an owner of a company that has continued to progress and continue to increase in its value. However, if you are in the Philippine Stock Exchange for its liquidity, for the ability for you to be able to sell your shares at any given point in time, as long as the market is open at a fair price based on the market or whatever market price is there, you won't be able to do that if you don't accept the tender offer and if you don't sell your shares. Being a shareholder of a private company means that you need to find a buyer that will be able to buy your shares at the price that you actually want. And because it's not anymore listed in the market, there won't be a market price as a benchmark for you to be able to offer the price that you want. So it will be driven particularly by valuations. And since it's not anymore liquid in the market, and if you're trying to rush to sell it, you might have to sell it at a discount based on what it's actually worth. So those are things that you need to consider, that it's not liquid, it will be slower, you need to find someone who wants to buy it for you. Please do remember, every time you make a trade in the stock market, there's no capital gains tax. You only get taxed when you receive dividends, which is already withheld from you. But if it's a private company and you sell it, there will be taxes that will be added and attached to it as well. So that's why I'm not into that route. That's why what's nice about the stock market is it's liquid, it's so easy, it's so convenient to be able to own a position and also sell it at the time that you want as well. So those are the three options on what you could possibly do. Sell it in the open market at the price that you want, or set a certain price where you want it to be sold. Number two is accept the tender offer. Number three is don't sell it don't accept the tender offer, and still become a shareholder of MPI, but you now become a shareholder of a privately owned company that's not anymore as liquid in the stock market as well. To either going to be a private company, I posted a video on that I think months ago, or I posted something in I think Twitter talking about it, but Manny Pangilinan and their entire team have their set of reasons also why they're doing that as well. It may not be the most ideal scenario for those that bought also when the market was relatively bullish and higher, thinking that when everything recovers, the price will also recover. But there are certain things like this also that happens that way before a recovery will happen. When a company delists, you won't have the option to be able to wait for it to recover. But there's an instance like this that you may have to bite the bullet and decide based on the 3 options that we talked about below. So there, I hope you guys got a lot from this. If you want to know more about dividend investing and investing in the stock market, links are down below. I also just posted videos on it over the past few days, and I hope that's something that's insightful for all of you. If you want to know the basics on fundamentals of the market, I have a webinar down below that you can also check out. And that's what you saw at the start of this video. Check out Icon 2023. We're going to talk about stocks, crypto, NFTs, Web3, real estate, and so much more. Everything you need to know about that is in the description below. So that's it for now. If you made it up until the end, like, share, subscribe, and smash the bell so you get updated every time I come up with new content about investing. I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon. God bless you all.